Welcome to Chemistry 151, Section 0005. This is a course for the spring semester of 2021. My name is Mr. Michael Anhorn. I'm going to be your instructor for this course. The first thing I want to do is actually talk about the CEQ before I get into anything else. So the CEQ is the course entry quiz. You must complete the course entry quiz in order for you to enter the course. So we are not meeting physically, so I would not be able to take physical attendance for you for the first day of class. So instead, it is a requirement that you take the course entry quiz. So how can you find the course entry quiz? There's a couple different places that you can find the course entry quiz. You can find it by looking at the navigation panel. Okay, so here we have the navigation panel, and you can select the course entry quiz. When you do that, it will take you to a link. You would click on the course entry quiz link. It'll take you to the instructions page, and then you would just click begin and take the course entry quiz. You can also find it under the Getting Started tab. So you would click on the Getting Started, it would take you to the Getting Started tab, and you would scroll down, and here again is the course entry quiz. Notice that the due date for the course entry quiz is January 19th, 2021. So that is the latest that you can take the course entry quiz. But you need to take it on the first day. The reason you need to take it on the first day is because you will not have access to any of the course materials until you have completed that course entry quiz. And there are due dates for assignments prior to January 19th. So if you wait until January 19th to do the course entry quiz, then you will be behind in the course. Okay? So what will happen if you try to look at these tabs prior to taking the course entry quiz? So if you haven't taken it and you click on the lessons for the lecture material, you would be taken to this section of Blackboard, but you can see here that there is an announcement telling you that you need to go complete the course entry quiz. Because you have not done it, you do not have access to any of these materials. The same thing for the lab material. If you have not completed the course entry quiz, you will not have access to the lab material. Okay, so let's pretend that you have completed the course entry quiz, okay? So I'm going to get out of student view. Before we navigate any further, I wanted to get the course entry quiz out of the way because that's extremely important. So let's talk a little bit about myself. So you can find a little bit of information about me by clicking the faculty information tab. Not the best picture, but not bad. So obviously I'm your instructor for this course. I've been working at Wake Tech for about 2 years. I started about 2 years ago. I've taught before teaching at Wake Tech, so as a graduate student at a couple different institutions. Part of the responsibility was a teaching assistant, and so I've taught general chemistry, both lab and recitation sections in previous institutions. But I actually grew up here, so I'm a native of Raleigh. I actually went to Daniels Middle School and Broughton High School, and then I actually attended Wake Tech for a year after completing high school, and I had a very positive experience, and I think that the instructors that I encountered actually laid the foundation for me to be successful at a four-year institution, right? So they helped not only give me content knowledge, but helped me hone my problem-solving skills, and that was very beneficial for me once getting into more advanced courses. Okay, and after Wake Tech, I got my bachelor's degree in chemistry from the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, so in Wilmington, North Carolina, and then I completed my master's degree at Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia, where I looked at creating porous membranes to use in hydrogen fuel cells. So if you have any interest in learning about some of the research that I did as a graduate student, then feel free to shoot me an email and I can kind of tell you what that was like. And as far as things outside of work, I actually enjoy hiking, and I've actually added in weightlifting recently into my routines, so I'm really enjoying that as well. I played a lot of basketball as a youth. I tried to pick it back up recently, but that was unsuccessful, so hopefully that will materialize as I continue. And then, of course, I'm a fan of Breaking Bad. Like most people, I often get asked questions related to Breaking Bad when I tell somebody that I meet that I am a chemistry instructor, so they always bring that show up. And then I actually like the prequel, Better Call Saul. That was great, and I'm looking forward to the last season. Hopefully it'll come out soon. So I just wanted to share a little bit about myself after the CEQ, introducing the CEQ, just so you can get to know me. Feel free to shoot me emails, right? We'll talk about communication here shortly, but you can find my email information here under faculty information. And then this is my work telephone. So I am working from home. I'm working virtually, but there is a chance that I will go on campus, but that's going to be hit or miss. So you actually won't be able to reach me via my office phone. And most likely you will not be able to find me in my office. It'll be real sporadic. If I'm on campus, like I said, I'm going to be working from home. So the best way that you can get in touch with me is to shoot me an email, or you can actually text me on Teams, and those text messages will come to my cell phone. Office hours are going to be virtual. We're going to use Microsoft Teams, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But my office hours are Tuesdays from 10 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock in the morning, and 4 to 5 p.m. And then Wednesdays, 10 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock. And then also Thursdays at the same time, 10 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock. So you can reach me via Microsoft Teams during these times. And we'll talk again, as we're navigating Blackboard, I'll show you a little bit more about the office hours and how you can actually access office hours. Okay, so if we look at when you actually, for the first couple of weeks when you sign into Blackboard, you're actually going to show up at the Getting Started tab. And then obviously the first thing that you would do is you would click on the welcome video. You can see I have a different shirt on. That's the welcome video from last semester. So you'll actually see this new welcome video for this semester. I just wanted to leave it up while I navigated the page. So watch this. Again, the course entry quiz. After you complete the course entry quiz, you are going to need to complete the academic integrity pledge. I take academic honesty, the academic integrity policies very seriously, and I expect you to adhere to all of the stipulations laid out in the policy. If you need to refresh your memory on how this works, you can actually go to Wake Tech's website and then type in academic integrity, and it'll pull up the policies for the institution. But you're going to have to read and acknowledge this pledge once you have completed the CEQ. Again, so we are pretending that you have completed the CEQ right now. So you would not see a lot of this stuff until you have completed the CEQ. After the integrity pledge, you need to complete the syllabus quiz. I'll create a separate video where I talk a little bit about the syllabus. It'll just be a brief video where I point out a few things. It is your responsibility to read the entire syllabus and the division policies. So both the lecture and lab syllabi, and then the division's policies and procedures. And the quiz is not necessarily based on just the video, okay? So there'll be a lot more information inside the actual syllabus that may show up on the quiz, okay? So you'll have access to the lecture syllabus. Here's the division policies. You'll have access to the lab syllabus and then the lab manual. So for the first couple of weeks, let me scroll back up. In the navigation panel, you see access to WebAssign and the discussion board. Those will not be available until after the January 19th, available in the navigation panel. But you will have access to WebAssign and the discussion board because you have assignments that are due, so you need to have access to those things. So you would be able to click on this link here, and that would take you to WebAssign. Again, this won't be available until after you take the CEQ. We're going to use a course key for WebAssign, and so here is the course key. So you would need to type that in, and it would pull up the course. Luckily for you this semester, you don't have to pay for WebAssign. It's being provided by the department through some funding that we received. And so it'll be free this semester, but we will be using WebAssign. We'll use WebAssign for lecture homework. We'll use WebAssign for lab assignments, pre-lab, in-lab, and post-lab assignments. Here is a posting about my office hours, which we already discussed. So you can actually access office hours either through your calendar, okay? The calendar in Microsoft Teams. So if we were to pull up Teams, this is my calendar. But if you log in the Teams and you log into our, let's see, so we're in Teams, okay? Let me show you. If you're in Teams, you would click on your Chem 151.005, and then over here on the left, you could select the calendar. And once you get in here, you would have the links that you could click on so you could join the office hours. So that's how you can get to it through Teams itself, but you can also use these links here. Make sure that you're choosing the correct day and the correct time for these office hours, and you can just click the link and it'll take you to the office hour meeting time. Here's an introductory video on how to use Microsoft Teams. So if you've never used Teams, which I imagine most of you have, but if you haven't, that's okay. You can watch this video, and then Microsoft will actually have explanations in text that you can find on the internet, okay? And here's a link to the discussion board. So you're going to have two things that you need to complete early in the semester. So you would click on this link and it would take you to the discussion board where it gives you more details on discussion board. So if I click that, right, it takes me either to the chemistry coffee house or the icebreaker. I'm not going to read all this information. I'm going to let you read that information. Okay, so we walk through the Getting Started tab. Let's look at the lessons. So if you click on the lecture material, I have it broken up into 5 different modules, 5 different units. So unit 1 is going to be chapters 1 through 2. Here are the dates that material covers, and then it gives you an exam date, okay? If you were to click on this folder, it would be broken down further into chapter 1 and chapter 2. Here's the information that is outlined, that outlines what you can find in this folder. Here's some due dates, right? Due dates, due dates. Those are also listed in the lecture and lab syllabi. So you have a calendar with the due dates. And then any WebAssign assignments that are listed here, you can actually see the due dates in WebAssign as well. So there are multiple places for you to be able to find the due dates for the materials that you have to complete. Okay, so it is your responsibility to stay on top of things. Okay, I have it written in so many different places that there is no excuse that you should not meet the requirements for the due dates. And as it's laid out in the syllabus, I do not accept late work, and I do not give any makeup work. Okay, so it's your responsibility to stay on top of things. Excuse me. So if I click on chapter 1, here's your PowerPoint slides. Here's your supplemental videos that go through different topics. Sometimes it's broken down into like a 1A and a 1B. So here's another set of PowerPoints. Here's another set of supplemental videos. And then here you would find the quiz, okay? Inside the folders where you can find the quiz for each chapter, okay? If I were to click on one of these folders that includes the videos, you have the videos that I have created and that I have used based on that I have used from other instructors, or videos that I had found and feel confident that these videos will help you understand the material. Obviously, there are other resources out there that you can use. You can use your textbook, which I'll talk a little bit more about the textbook when I cover the syllabus. But you can also find other videos online, but you need to make sure they're vetted, right? So not everything on the internet is a good resource. Okay, so again, if we're looking at the lecture material, so here's the folder that contains everything for Unit 2, Chapters 3 to 4, everything that covers Unit 3's Chapter 4 and 5, and then Unit 4 is Chapter 6 and 7, and Unit 5 is Chapter 8 and 9, okay? Same thing for the lab material. I have it broken down into different folders. So this is a little bit different. It's broken down based upon the lab experiment that you're going to complete. So here we have the safety and graphing workshop. It tells you what's inside this folder. It gives you, again, due dates, which also can be found in the lab syllabus. Here's the measurements lab. It gives you the dates that is expected to be completed, or it gives you the dates of the week that we're working on that lab. And then again, down here are due dates for pre-lab, in-lab, post-lab assignments. So you have a folder for each lab, and then you have a folder all the way at the bottom for the lab notebook check, right? So you will get a little bit more information on the lab notebook check as the dates approach. Okay, so we've looked at the lab material. So you have, before I move on, you have your lab manual here. So you need to read the material for that particular lab in the lab manual, watch any pertinent videos, okay, and then complete any assignments. So the videos, except for, I think 2 of the labs, are actually embedded in the WebAssign assignments, okay? And it tells you here, for instance, for the density of liquids lab, the virtual lab, the video for that lab is embedded in the in-lab assignment. So you would go over to WebAssign, you would click on the in-lab assignment, and then you would have the video where an instructor is showing you how to complete that lab. And for the pre-lab assignments, those would be based upon the reading of the lab manual, so you can complete the pre-lab assignments without having watched the in-lab actual video of the experiment. Okay, here is where you would click on to find the exams. Okay, and you'll have an exam for each of the units, and then you will have a final exam. Okay, one of the labs, at least, it could be more, at least one of the labs is going to be completed at the on campus at the ELTC, okay? So you would be required to come to campus and have a proctored exam for at least one exam, okay? And I will give you more information on that once everything, the calendar is cleared, okay? So you can also go to course resources. When you click on course resources, you have links to some of the things that we've already discussed. So here you can find a link for the course entry quiz. Here you can find the link for the web to get into WebAssign. And then you have all these files that we've discussed already, office hours. Here's MS Teams instructions instead of a video. But you also have supplemental materials that may be helpful during the course. Okay, so here's a list of the required polyatomic ions. So the ones that you have to memorize, that'll become more apparent once we get to that section in the course. Here's a periodic table. This one's from Science Notes. Here's a formula sheet, which also contains a periodic table, but it has all the formulas and the solubility table that you can use throughout the semester. Okay, so all of our exams are closed notes, closed books, but you are allowed this formula sheet, which contains a periodic table, any formulas that I'm giving you, and then the solubility table. Here's a couple other files that you may find useful throughout this semester. Okay. Here's the student support. Okay. So if you have anything that you need support with, right, we have academic support resources, right? So the ILC, which you can get help outside of class at the ILC. You can also come to office hours. You also have the STEM Center. Here's the catalog. Here's information on the help desk, alternative formats. Here's some more college resources like disability support services if you need to get in contact with them, student advocacy, student success department. Here is a link on Microsoft Office 365. So the college has partnered with Microsoft, and we have access to Office 365 materials. So this gives you a little bit more information on that. And then here's a student guide on how to use Microsoft Teams. And here's a link to Student Life. It looks like that is going to be it for the material that I want to cover in this introductory video. You will get more information throughout the semester. It'll either come in the form, in the medium of videos or announcements in Blackboard or emails. So you need to be diligent about checking your email and checking Blackboard. You should be checking your email and Blackboard daily. Again, especially since we're in a virtual environment, if I were to send you an email, and it's important, right? So if I'm sending you an email, it's important. And so if I send you an email and you don't check your email, at least you only check your email once a week or once every 2 weeks, then you're going to miss any communication that comes from me. And it's important that you get back to me in a timely manner. So you should be checking your email daily. Okay. So again, welcome to Chemistry 151. I'm excited to have each and every one of you in my course, and I hope that you all do well. Don't hesitate to reach out to me with any questions during the semester, and I will get back to you. Have a nice afternoon.